we're going to talk about square foot gardening. So the first question is this: what is square foot gardening?
Well, it's my very favorite method of growing vegetables in my own backyard.
Okay.
And it was popularized by books from Mel Bartholomew. The idea behind square foot gardening is it is a raised bed system.
Okay.
The basic raised bed size is 4 foot by 4 foot. And a square foot garden, a true square foot garden, always has a grid laid on top of the 4 by 4 foot square bed.
Okay.
That divides it into square feet. So you'll have 16 square feet sections in a square foot garden bed. Okay. And you can make those grids out of like twine and nails or little pieces of wood strips that you lay on
Yeah, that's
top.
going to be my next question. Okay, well, what are the benefits though of square foot gardening?
Okay, well here's the reasons why I do it in my yard. The first one is it doesn't take up a whole lot of space.
Good.
You can grow a lot in a very small backyard. You don't have to own a tiller or anything like that. The only thing I've ever used in my square foot beds are my hand trowel.
Okay.
Very, very little weed pressure, almost no weeds. I rarely ever have to pull a weed. You use less water because it's a smaller space that you have to water. And I have dogs in my backyard, so if I had a great big garden, I would have to fence out around the whole thing to keep my dogs out, but it's very, very simple to fence around to keep dogs or other critters out of your square foot beds.
Good point. No weeds.
Very, very little.
No weeds?
Yes,
How about
yes.
that? Okay. Now, how do we get started with our square foot garden?
Okay, well the first thing that you have to do is build your bed, or now you can even buy kits to build your square foot bed. And you want them to be at least 6 inches deep. Mine are a little bit deeper than that in my backyard, but 6 inches is really all that you need.
Okay.
And then you would first locate that in an area that gets at least 6 hours of sunshine a day. So full sun is best.
It's best, okay.
And you know, if you don't have a lot of full sun areas in your yard, if it's a concrete patio, you can put this thing right on top of concrete. So it's great for small spaces.
Okay.
And then you fill it with whatever you're going to put in your raised bed. I think in his books, Mel Bartholomew has his own mix that he's formulated. It's like a third vermiculite, a third peat moss, and a third compost. But you don't have to put that if that's not what you have on hand. If you've got some good compost or whatever, you can fill that up. So we're going to modify this barrel to show you an example of how to do a square foot garden. So we're going to add a little bit of compost to our barrel. And
I think I can handle that, Tanya.
Thank you.
All right. And you just tell me how much and when.
Okay. And in my own yard, I usually will in the spring have to top dress with compost to get it back up to the top of my container.
Yeah, this is good stuff here.
All right, so another thing about square foot gardening is inside of these grids, you're going to plant your plants very close together.
Okay.
And you don't plant in rows with a square foot garden. So you'll usually see in planting guidelines, plant your things so many inches apart and then so many inches between rows.
Okay.
But we just ignore the row part and you put them on centers. And so this allows you to be able to plant a lot of things in a small space. Like in a square foot, in one square in your raised bed, you can plant 16 carrots.
Really?
Or you can plant 1 tomato per square. So that gives you 16 tomatoes in one 4 by 4 bed, which is highly intensive planting. Or you can do 1 pepper or 1 eggplant per square. You can also do 4 bush beans per square, or you can do 9 sweet peas per square. So I know that sounds like a lot, but I've tried it in my own and it actually works. In my one little 1 foot by 1 foot square, I planted 9 sugar sweet peas. And when they grow up, they kind of support each other as they grow, and you don't even hardly need a support system, and there's no weeds because they're out competing all the weeds.
Gotcha.
So those are some of the basics. And if you want to do this in your yard and you're not sure like how many plants to put per square, there's some good resources online. You can go to squarefootgardening.com and watch short video clips on how to set this thing up. And you can also, if you're on Pinterest, you can follow the Square Foot Gardening Foundation, and they have charts of samples for how many plants to put in each square. So that's a great resource if you're on Pinterest. So I brought some things with me to show. You could do 1 tomato plant per square. This is Pink Girl.
Pink Girl.
Or 1 pepper. You could put that. And then I like to plant from seed sometimes. You could do 1 okra per square per square in your garden, or 16 carrot seeds per square. You could plant a whole bunch of carrots. Also, it's good to plant carrots in containers because the soil is usually not as compact. They do better. They're a root vegetable. Okay. Also, eggplant, I'm going to try from seed this year. And this is a container variety for a 12-inch pot, so this would be perfect for my space-intensive square foot beds. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and plant, this tomato plant in there. And we probably have, this is probably a little bit more than 1 square would be in your square foot bed. So I'm going to put it kind of towards the back, and then I'm going to put a parsley in there too. Okay. Because I think we've got room.
It's a good root system on that too. Okay.
Nice fluffy dirt.
All right. That's good. Now, how successful are you with the seeds though? When you're planting your seeds at home in your own?
Well, I have 3 of the 4x4 raised beds. One of them I use strictly as an herb bed. Okay. So I have a lot of success with planting things like basil and parsley and dill from seed. I've already got basil and dill seeds sprouted up in my own yard, in my own square foot bed. And also I've had a lot of success with carrots especially. Okay. And lettuce. Lettuce is a great spring crop that you can do. You just get a nice seed bed and sprinkle out your lettuce seeds. It's fantastic for this type of scheme. And then let's see, what else have I planted from seed? My peas, I plant peas from seed. Okay. So yeah, you can definitely save money that way. Okay. And that's pretty much all there is to it.
And I guess it's easy to harvest too, right? You said there's no weeding. You know,
no weeding.
Harvesting is going to be easy. Yes. What about if you had like pest problems? It'd be easy to come in here and just take those off, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've mostly just had aphids that you can easily remove if you catch them in time. Yeah, the pest problems, very few, and my favorite part is no weeds. And it's easier on your back too. I mean, it's easier on your back than doing it in the ground.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
And they're easy, the beds are easy to build. My husband built mine for me, but I'll tell people that he was outside building my bed and I was inside cooking dinner, and he got finished first.
Oh, Daniel's good. He's good.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Pretty good. One last question. Any disease problems, you know, because, I mean, they're planted fairly close together.
Yes. So. Well, you know, for my tomatoes, I spray preventative fungicide. Okay. The chlorothalonil is my favorite. Okay. Yeah.
And that works pretty good? No other problems?
No.
All right. Well, Tanya, we appreciate the demonstration. We can't wait to see what it looks like, you know, throughout the summer.
Yes.
How about that? Thank you much.
Thank you.
Right. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please click the subscribe button below.